Now, before I start this video, I would like to state out that please, if you guys are a fanboy, the textbook definition of a fanboy of either Verlisify or Smogon, I suggest to you that you do not comment below my video, because fanboyism involves a lack of logic, and with lack of logic, you're not making a case. It'll save yourself from the embarrassment. Now let's start with this video made by Verlisify. Now I'm going to explain what I think on the matter regarding Smogon.
Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and thank you, Tiki Tyke 13 for showing me this post. So what this is the next Smogon suspect test. It's pretty much Swagger, Pokemon that can use Swagger and Prankster, or just the combination of Swagger and Prankster. Which means Klefki is kind of on suspect, as well as just the move Swagger in general. So there's a lot of things that could go on about Smogon there, but this right here is probably the most fascinating thing I have ever read. Do not make arguments for Swagger Prank based on it adding diversity to the meta, and it being better or healthier for the meta game.
Okay, that statement. Do not make arguments for Swagger Prank based on its adding diversity to the meta and this being better or healthier for the metagame. Gee, I wonder why they made that statement to begin with. Maybe is it because they've heard it thousands of times? And that next sentence is going to prove that they have heard it thousands of times. And me repeating that they heard it thousands of times is going to prove why what Verlisify is going to say later in his whole video does not make any sense. It doesn't coincide with what Smogon is trying to say in this post.
Previous data shows that diversity is not conclusively deemed better by the community, nor its over-centralization deemed a problem.
That is basically saying that diversity does not necessarily mean that it's better. There are different cases where diversity does not always equal better. That's pretty much what Smogon is saying in that sentence.
All posts appealing to variety, diversity, creativity as their main argument will be deleted. Oh man, that's exactly what I've been saying. They're pretty much, I'm not going to make this as like the statement, but it sounds like that pretty much if your argument is similar to an argument I've made about adding diversity to the meta, that a healthier metagame is a not over-centralized, over-condensed metagame, if you make that argument in the suspect test, your post is removed and ignored. So, I guess
their decision to remove and ignore the same comment of diversity improving the metagame, I can understand why they would ignore it just because of the fact that they already made an opinion regarding diversity improving the metagame, which they clearly stated on that second bold sentence. But, however, the one thing I would have to agree with Verlisify on is the fact that I do not see the point of why you would delete comments made by people saying that diversity improves the metagame. It doesn't really change anything. It's not necessary to delete people saying the same thing, saying that diversity improves the metagame. If they keep on saying it, you can either just requote what you said regarding diversity improving the metagame, or just ignore it. I don't understand why Smogon would have to just delete comments saying the same thing regarding diversity, or just because of the fact that they're really that much sick of it. But really, they're running a professional Pokemon regulations organization here. So, to me, deleting comments regarding diversity improving the metagame is not really that necessary.
A couple of people have heard me out, and they're saying these things on the to the Smogon community, like, hey, maybe these ideas aren't really working out too well, and they are getting removed. They are getting silenced.
Silence? Not really, because they just stated that diversity is not conclusively deemed better by not the community, which to me I have to agree on. Diversity does not always equal better. In the what's it called? The metagame they're trying to make. that diversity, let's say for example in diversity, oh, let's not ban Kyogre, the most overpowered Pokemon in the entire game. I can attest to that just because of the fact that I gone mostly undefeated with Choice Scarfed Kyogre, Water Spout, all the things in the double battles. The diversity does not equal better. If you lift the ban of Kyogre, people running the Choice Scarf Kyogre set, does that mean that it's going to be more diverse as far as the competitive scene goes? If you lift the ban of, like, for example, Kyogre, wouldn't people attempt to use Kyogre more in the metagame? The answer is yes. Why? Because it is overpowered. So eliminating, for example, Kyogre, making Kyogre banned would actually improve the diversity in itself. So people realizing that, let's say for example, Mega Kangaskhan is overpowered, so a lot of people have been using it. So Smogon decides to ban Kangaskhan. So what happened because of that? More people try to experiment with different megas, as I have observed on online Pokemon X and Y and in Pokemon Showdown, which I do record and try to do every day, and I always see different types of mega evolutions. Me and myself, I only use Mega Venusaur on Pokemon Showdown, as I've done in the previous vids, and I'm trying to abide by Smogon rules, because I like Pokemon Showdown better because of the fact that I don't see Mega Kangaskhan that much on Pokemon Showdown. And thus, what happens? Diversity is present more, in my opinion, in Pokemon Showdown, which is under Smogon rules, than in Pokemon X and Y, because sometimes I just get sicking of trying to overcome Mega Kangaskhan all the time. I have known the counter for Mega Kangaskhan since people have been overusing it. But in Pokemon Showdown, I see different Mega evolutions. So I enjoy myself better on Pokemon Showdown because there actually is more diversity, because Smogon bans overused Pokemon, because that's what diversity is. So this point of diversity, improving the metagame, having more Pokemon not banned, people in return are going to just use those previously X-banned Pokemon, making it the competitive scene, the competition, not diverse. So I do not understand why you think diversity, meaning that adding more Pokemon to the lifting bans of banned Pokemon would improve the metagame, because of the fact that people would use the same dang Pokemon that was previously banned. Now let's continue with the video. I've gone too much about that.
For having the same opinion as me. This is ridiculous. This is huge, and I don't even know how to react. This is Smogon saying that they want community decisions to be made. That it's all about, like, the majority of the community. If they don't like if they don't like something, that they have a chance to be heard, to change it, to ban something, to remove a ban, to lift a ban, to reverse a ban. And here's the total opposite, that if you're making an argument that you feel is worthy because, you know, it adds diversity, there is a way to play around this. There can be a healthy metagame with swagger around, or that, you know, you can be creative in countering it, you can be creative in using it. You get silenced.
As I stated before, they are not being silenced. Smogon has heard about the diversity argument hundreds of times, which is why they made a bold statement regarding people using diversity in the metagame as a point to not ban certain Pokemon that are currently banned to begin with. Their second statement, previous data shows that diversity is not conclusively deemed better by not the community, is something that I do agree on. Previous data shows that diversity is not conclusively deemed better. Diversity does not always mean better, meaning that having less banned Pokemon does not equal better. People that use Mega Kingscon all the time, which I always see on Pokemon X and Y online battle spot or linked battles. Does that mean it's diverse? People using Pokemon that are actually banned on Smogon rules? I don't understand why you're trying to make diversity as a point here. If people that actually trying to agree with you, Verlisify, decides to use Mega Kingscon constantly, increase use of Kangaskhan. I'm just trying to provide Kangaskhan as the example because that's just something I always see online.
Comment is removed. Oh, and this next part, I don't even know what to say about this next.
Oh, and this is the most interesting thing throughout the whole video of Verlisify. But let's take a listen.
Part. So Smogon has created an unofficial definition of uncompetitive. So pretty much this is what they consider to be uncompetitive. Uncompetitive game aspects are those that take away autonomy, control of the game's events. Which means that, luck. To Smogon, anything that is too luck-based is deemed uncompetitive.
Yes, that's what uncompetitive means. That's what the Pokemon games are to begin with. If certain moves have a certain accuracy, like say for example 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, and even 95, that is what is called luck-based, not competitive-based, luck-based, which is what Smogon here is trying to explain here.
Which means that Pokemon strategy, that all those strategies that use Moody, evasion, anything like that, create an uncompetitive environment, and they try to create a better competitive environment by removing what they deem is an uncompetitive aspect of the game. When it boils down to banning Pokemon, it's also a mix of the uncompetitive characteristics and overpowered characteristics. I'm at a loss for words right here. I do not. I don't know how to react to this.
Probably because you don't kind of understand the meaning, that literal meaning of uncompetitive, which is what Smogon is trying to explain here. Moves that are actually luck based, saying either an accuracy move or a confused ray and then hitting yourself with confusion, because that in itself is luck based. That's from the game, that's from the system of the game. Oh, you get hit, oh, that was by chance. Oh, you just got parahaxed, oh, that's by chance. Oh, you didn't wake up on that turn, oh, that is based on luck, not based on competition. Some parts of the Pokemon game are not competitive. Not all of them are competitive. And if you don't realize that, Verlisify, then I don't understand how you did not understand this definition of competition, competitive, when it comes to the Pokemon games.
Because my whole stance against Smogon is that they're uncompetitive for making these decisions, and their response is that they feel that they are uncompetitive because the base aspects of Pokemon, when you play in a competitive, when you play in a Pokemon game, some of the base aspects of Pokemon are too uncompetitive.
There's no such thing as too uncompetitive. It's either it's competitive or uncompetitive when it comes to certain aspects of the Pokemon game, such as what I explained before, the accuracy moves or the chances of being parahaxed or not waking up or hitting yourself in confusion. Those parts of the game are not competitive. Those parts of the game are luck based, which is the whole, as I'm gonna say again, which is the whole point that Smogon is making in this part of his post regarding the unofficial definition of uncompetitive here. I don't understand why you do not understand that, Verlisify.
To make it officially competitive to them. So, their defense is that by taking away what they say is uncompetitive from the base aspect.
It's not what they say is uncompetitive, it's what the game and how it is being made and the parts of it is what is uncompetitive. That's the whole point of this whole post here. I do not understand why you cannot understand that. It's pretty much what the post of Smogon here is black and white here. I don't understand why you don't grasp that.
Aspects of the game, they are creating a more competitive environment. Which pretty much, Smogon right here is pretty much saying that the official Pokemon rule set is not competitive. That Nintendo VGC format is not competitive because it has too much luck aspects involved. And that my argument...
Yes, there are some parts that are based on luck. Good.
That they aren't competitive because they're reducing too many things, is essentially thrown out the window from the earlier statement and this statement.
I haven't. What are you talking about? The statement about regarding the diversity improving the metagame? Of course, diversity does not always mean better. It depends on the situation, and I agree with Smogon here when saying that banning overused Pokemon, certain ones that are very difficult to counter, but I know the counter to these, but the ones that are difficult to counter, like Mega Kangaskhan, does not increase diversity because of the fact that people always use Mega Kangaskhan, and since the ban of Mega Kangaskhan on Smogon rules, I haven't seen any Mega Kangaskhan, because that's what banning means, but I've seen more variety in Mega Pokemon in Showdown, and I've been enjoying Showdown more than Pokemon X and Y just because of the fact that people overuse Kangaskhan on Battle Spot, and I can overcome Mega Kangaskhan like I said before, but it does annoy the crap out of me having to deal with the same ass situation. It bores me throughout the game. What Smogon's point trying to make in this whole rules regarding banning certain Pokemon is to increase diversity by banning certain overused Pokemon that has been seen time and time again repeatedly by probably some people that actually agree with you, Verlisify. That part, those people baffle me sometimes.
Speechless. Alright, so this... Wow. Alright then, I don't even know what to say back to this.
You probably don't know what to say, it's just because of the fact that you're trying to think one way, but what Smogon is posting is a completely different. You are misunderstanding the whole point of what Smogon is trying to make here, and what I'm trying to say is what Smogon is trying to say.
Wow, so this is apparently the new way that Smogon is making rules. I feel I've made an impact to where they feel they have to change almost everything on how they judge a ban, on what is considered a ban-worthy clause, a ban-worthy strategy, a ban-worthy Pokemon. They have to redefine everything because apparently I've made an impact, it looks like right here, that, you know, I'm changing the way people are thinking, and they're reducing that change of thought to keep order? I don't even...
The only change that you're trying to make is not consistent with what Smogon thinks about people like you. What they think about people like you is that, oh, diversity improves the metagame. You know what Smogon thinks? Okay, going with your side. Oh, okay, let's unban, for example, Mega Kangaskhan. What do we see on Pokemon X and Y in Battle Spot and Link battles with your friends? Mega Kangaskhan. Oh, Mega Lucario. Oh, look, another Mega Kangaskhan. Oh, another shocker, Mega Kangaskhan. Really? Like, I was addicted to Pokemon X and Y. I have 600 hours in this game. However, I pretty much stopped 2 weeks ago just because of the fact that I cannot stand the same Pokemon. It bores the crap out of me. So I went to Pokemon Showdown. I heard of it from a different YouTuber hosting a competition on it a month and a half ago. I tried it. I got teams together. People have been using different megas in the tournament, and I enjoyed it 5 times more than what Pokemon people have been using in battle spot in the game in Pokemon X and Y. I just, in my opinion, enjoy Smogon's rules better than VGC rules here. I'm pretty much, in my opinion, I'm sick of seeing the same Pokemon used in competitive battling. Don't you think? Isn't it? Don't you think that's why people that actually side with Smogon on many aspects of what they think? Is it just because of the fact that they want to see different Pokemon used, different strategies used, and thus increasing diversity? You're trying to side with diversity, but it's in a way where it's causing less diversity. And if you do not understand that, then you got to evaluate your thoughts. That's all I'm gonna have to say here. I'm gonna stop here because I think in the end it's just him just rambling on saying, oh, I completely lost my words, or I don't know what else to say about this. Well, I don't know, but that's pretty much what I want to say in regards to his video. This is GH3 Henry.